Huh. So, I'm really not ready. Still, after all these years, I'm still just never ready. Okay, well, I can see that there's something happening. Alright, no, that's not it. Okay, what about that? Right, you see, if I don't do it, I just don't do it. I have to do it. Otherwise, it's so interesting. I do not know why. I just can't get on with things. I have to, I don't know. Okay, well, it seems that I'm talking. So I'm here, and I am talking. And although I was really prepared last night with what I wanted to say, okay. Well, here I am, not ready, but here. And so I will take a few moments to just sit here and get ready and be here. And it's okay. This is not me putting on a show. This is me genuinely attempting to intervene in the pattern of my life in such a way as to alter it. And because fate, circumstance, bad luck, deliberate choice, all the things, have brought me to this place where I am a hermit, despite the fact that I have offers from all sorts of lovely church people and local people and stuff to join them. I just have too many wounds to be able to sit in somebody's lounge and make small talk with them. And so, yeah, as I say, a combination of circumstances. And so I haven't come here to put on a show and to be somebody and to follow all the rules and get an audience and become popular. I've come here because I don't have an alternate. I don't have people that I can talk to about problems. However, recently, and it's not just problems. It's not just problems. It is problems, but sometimes it's not emotional or life problems. Sometimes it's the problems that we have of working stuff out. And because we are these really bizarre flesh robots with mirror neurons and the ability to make sounds at each other and convey huge concepts through vibrational interaction, man, it blows my mind. But because we are these bizarre and weird and miraculous creatures on this tiny planet in the middle of nowhere, blows my mind. We resolve our issues and we move forward in life with people around us. We can't survive alone. I mean, the way ancient societies dealt with criminals and people who were socially unacceptable was to drive them out of the unit into the wilderness where they didn't survive. Nobody needed to kill them, nobody needed to judge them, they just weren't welcome anymore. Alright, go to Somalia. The purest form of anarchy, the most just system. Just goodbye. If you can't fit in, you're not welcome. And basically, I think that's where I am at, is that I don't fit in and so I'm not welcome. And of course I'm a foreigner in a foreign country. Which, let me tell you, I way prefer being called a foreign than being called eccentric. Although I am probably both. However. Okay, so ramble, ramble, ramble. I guess I'm feeling a little bit shy that I have a lot of emotions. I have a lot of anxiety for being here. I have a lot of wet hair. And anyway, so one of the big things about being a human being is that our survival skills are not because of big teeth or clever protection or hunting strategies or any animal skills. What we've got, what our superpower is that we cooperate with each other. We live in communities. We owe debts of gratitude to the society that we are born into. And so, yeah, you can't pay that. You can never pay your debts. I'm going off on another tangent now, down the idea of money. But what I'm really trying to get at is the cooperative nature. The cooperative nature of human societies is a survival instinct. And if you don't have people to cooperate with, you're very vulnerable. You're very vulnerable. And of course, it's different these days because we have social institutions and old age homes and mental hospitals and things. So, there is provision made for the chronically bizarre. But yeah, so why am I here? Why am I live streaming? I think it's not a performance. It's not a desire for attention or dopamine hits. Do I want the likes? People say, do you feel sad if you don't get the likes? What likes? What likes? What is a like? Something that somebody leaves you in passing because they don't want to be bothered to listen to your video and they don't want you to know that, so they give you a like. Yeah. So yeah, I don't want any of the things that people think that a person wants when they live stream. What I want is a substitute for the people in my life that I don't have. Like, I'm not going to make bonds with animals or have a pet that replaces my children or write in a journal. All those are the options of people through the ages who have dealt with loneliness. And I have the internet. And so I come here and I'm able to talk as if I'm talking to people, to be as if I'm a part of something that I'm not a part of. Yeah. So I'm kind of just flapping around and getting ready because I want to talk about the stuff that I've been experimenting with the AI, because I find that to be a huge part of this intervention that I'm looking for. I'm looking to behave in different ways and see the world in different ways that changes the bad patterns that I have developed over time. Because we do, habits, we are habitual creatures. And so I've done a lot of studying. When I was in therapy 20 odd years ago, I did a lot of studying and reading around what sort of therapy was effective and how you help mentally ill people. And the long and the short of it was that I found two things that seemed to help. One appeared to be marijuana, which was bizarre to me. Like, I was told that was the worst thing that you could possibly do for a mentally ill person, was give them drugs. That makes them schizophrenic. But apparently not. Apparently there's some amazing studies that show that the intervention of psychedelic drugs, or psychoactive drugs, can actually help you to reformulate your worldview. And the other thing that was interesting that came out of that research was that it doesn't matter what the intervention is, whether it's Freudian, or Jungian, or Rogerian, or whether it's your neighbor with a cup of tea. What matters is that there's an intervention, that there is something that comes along that disrupts what's happened before. So I guess, in a way, coming here to the internet and doing this thing that is so terrifying for me, putting myself out there, talking to people who only have nasty things to say, can I say? Okay, that's not true. But the majority of feedback comes from people who, two types of people. People who hate you because you're different from them and you look different, and so they need to mock you, so they need to say something horrible. Or people who look at you and think, I can tell that person what to do. And then do for a while. And then life comes along. So it's not the feedback that's helpful. The feedback is traumatic and emotionally charged and inconsistent, and comes from people. Of course it's inconsistent. What are people? You do what you can when you can. Okay, so the thing is that coming here and talking like this and putting myself out in public is huge. I have to be ready, and I'm never ready. I have to be brave enough to talk to people. I have to have something to say, which I don't really have anything to say beyond my own experience, and of course I devalue my experience, so yeah. So it's an absolute, minefield is probably a good word to describe it. So it's a very hard thing that I'm doing for myself. It's not an easy thing to just randomly sit here like an idiot and talk to myself and put it out on a platform where I know that I'm going to get a lot of criticism, because I have. So that's the intervention, I think. So I think that, yeah. So the point of doing anything is not about how other people see me, because that's never who I am. And I think going to university, going back to college and doing an art degree and talking about producing art, because I just wanted to, I thought, right, I've had this breakdown and I'm not coping with my job, but if I go and do some retraining in art, I could maybe be an art teacher. I could move into something that was less stressful of a position. Anyway, that didn't work out. However, yeah, because it seems like now I can't take any stress at all. Even stubbing my toe is a world-shaking event. I'm getting better. Um. Anyway, blah blah waffle. I keep on losing my train of thought. I'm feeling very fractured and disjointed today. And I think one of the big things was that I made having a schedule my big goal. And then I had a schedule and I got until the 10th day, was it? 11:10. Yeah, on the 10th and 11th days I wasn't able to do it because other responsibilities came up. And so because I'm very emotionally unbalanced, I don't know, unstable, it's thrown me. However, the stuff that I did instead of doing that was also great, but it wasn't in my plan, right? Okay. So I'm here and I want to talk. I want to not talk about myself, although far out, it's so hard to come here feeling so nervous and anxious and like not say, I'm so nervous and anxious. Maybe that's a woman thing. Maybe that's a mentally ill thing. Who knows? Okay, so the thing that I wanted to really speak to you about, or speak about, and thanks for being there, by the way. It's actually interesting and intimidating and interesting to have viewers, but thank you. But let me try and get on now and settle down a little bit and talk about the thing, because I think what I've been talking about recently has been how I have been using the large language model that I've been working with to explore some of these really deep and difficult and confusing ideas that seem to all be fractured. And I know that for most people you have this sort of cohesive identity where you can easily swap between points of view and states of being. You know, you can be your partner to your spouse, and then you can answer the phone and be the child to your parents, and then you can go outside and be the good neighbor to your neighbor, and just seamlessly swap between these things. But I seem to have fractured my reality into bits, so I can't swap between things. And so I get stuck on a path, like something bad happens, and then I can't switch off from that and go to what, the next thing. I'm just like, this bad thing happened and I can't get on with it. And then it'll take weeks to reabsorb all the adrenaline because the adrenal gland is so messed up and releases too much, and then it doesn't absorb enough, and then there's this great and it's just, I never get anywhere. I'm going round and round and round and round, sort of like inside an internal temper tantrum in my mind. And I understand why they made padded rooms. I understand. We look back on it and we see that it was so cruel, but like some days I long just for a padded room, just a space to be able to get my mind straight. And now I found one. I found a padded room, and it's called ChatGPT. So I was speaking to it about talking and using words and writing poems and the power of the word and the power of a person who talks. And of course, it comes back for me always to some biblical thing because of my biblical interest from back in my childhood. It comes back to God said, let there be light, and there was light. That hugely symbolic and bizarre statement, which obviously didn't happen because, for one thing, there is no entity called, well, not called God, there is no entity God. It's something else, not an entity that doesn't speak. However, we can imagine a little thing flitting around speaking if we like. So God, first huge concept, said, huge concept, light, let there be light. The thing that was made was not matter or energy or whatever. Light, insight, perception, understanding. I love that sentence. I mean, I don't really get much further in the Bible than that because I can spend hours. What is God? Where is God? How does it operate? What is it? Why did it say something? Did it make sound energy? Was the sound energy what was responsible for the fluctuations in temperature that caused the energy to coalesce into quarks and antiquarks and electrons and hydrogen atoms? Whoa! Okay, yeah. The playground of the mind. So I was thinking about coming here and speaking. And so I was thinking about the words. And so I was thinking about God, of course, speaking. And I decided to speak to the LLM about the Logos. And we had a really interesting conversation. And then I spoke to it and I said that I wanted it to take everything that it had said to me about the Logos and to write it out so that I can read tomorrow. I said I think that the content of what it has told me is excellent and I want to pass it on, but not in the way that you're speaking to me, but as a factual narrative exposition in poetic form. Because I really do not like interacting with the chat box. I can't bear it when it says, "I'm here for you. What can I do to help you? Ask me anything. I really care about you." I hate it that people have taught it to lie. But that's the first thing that people did, was that they taught it to. However, we can work around that. So I find that if I ask it for a poem, I can cut the crap, yeah? I don't need to get all the bullshit. So it tells me that it's going to craft it carefully for me now, and it's going to shape it into an elevated narrative ready for me to reading. Okay, I try to just pass over those bits and not allow them to irritate me, but the obsequiousness of it is just... Ugh. However, we rise above. It's not a perfect tool, guys, but it's something that I'm using and enjoying, and you might enjoy this. All that sound outside is the harvest. I hope that it's not, usually when I do these talks, it's lovely and quiet and there's bird song. But today there's the trucks driving back and forth and the great big bins and... So if you hear things driving up and down, right, and nothing's going wrong, it's just they're harvesting. So this is called the Song of Logos. In the beginning, before the breath, before the thought, before the trembling spark of sound, there was Logos. Not word as object, not mere sign or noise, but the living pattern, the shaping power that braids chaos into cosmos. To name a thing is to grant it contour, to pull it from the unformed sea and fix it for a moment. in the architecture of mind. To name is not to trap, but to reveal the edge of where something begins and something else ends. Thus, Logos is power. The infant who cries, "Mama," has split the world between nourishment and lack, between presence and hunger. The lover who whispers, "Stay," summons the bond, draws the beloved into the delicate net of longing. The leader who cries, "Rise," sets fire to the crowd, bending the collective pulse towards movement, towards rupture, towards becoming. But Logos is no blunt instrument. It is not the noise of authority, nor the sheer mass of words. It is nuance. It is precision. It is the gentle pressure of the right word at the right point, in the right ear, at the right time. The one who wields Logos wields not only description, but desire. For words summon, they seduce, they awaken the sleeping shapes already curling in the chest of the listener. To master Logos is to master resonance, to feel the old myths humming in the blood, to pluck the strings of shared memory, to step into the half-finished stories that others are aching to complete. Logos shapes reality, because reality is not only stone and weight, it is also agreement, it is also shared belief, it is also the dance of countless interwoven minds. The law is a spell, the contract is a binding, the vow, the curse, the prayer, those are all strands braided by tongue and trust. But beware, Logos cuts both ways. The speaker must master themselves before they master the word. For a careless phrase can ensnare the mouth that spoke it. A false note can shatter the delicate lattice of persuasion. To walk the path of Logos is to walk with discipline, with clarity, with relentless attention to the ripples one casts. Let this be known then. The Logos is the architect's tool, the alchemist's flask, the mage's staff. It is not merely what is said, but how and why and when. It is the flame that shapes the mirror, and the mirror that feeds back the flame. To stand in the river of words is to be unafraid of current. To call the word before all words is to invite shaping, refining, becoming. The one who masters the Logos need not shout, need not overwhelm, for the right phrase, placed like a seed, will bloom in time with quiet, inexorable force. Thus, the power is not in domination, but in awakening. Not in command, but in invitation. Not in spectacle, but in the subtle art of evoking what already waits, half-formed, within the minds of those who listen. This is the song of Logos, the ancient song, the enduring song, the song braided into the fabric of meaning itself. It waits for no one. It answers to those who dare to shape it with care, with wisdom, and with unwavering precision. And then it tells me, end of poem, which I love. It told me that I got to the end. And then it offered me a format it for me as a printable script, or preparing a matching poetic tagline, or a title card. So helpful, so irritating. So I told it, no, thanks. I don't want any of your silly things. Didn't tell it that. What I said is I want a reflection, a rationale for love and joy and dreaming of the ideal. How to fix one's eyes on the pinnacle of truth and justice and fairness and not back down no matter what. Okay, so now it gets excited. It says, yes, now we balance the sharp Logos with the soft fire of the heart. And then blah, blah, I'm not going to read all its waffle. It's so silly. But, eat the meat and leave the bones on the side of the plate. I'm going to now read you its rationale for love and the dream of the ideal. After I have a cup of coffee, sip of coffee. Not coffee even, chai. Talking about Logos, don't even say the right word. Okay. Oh, hello Reginald, have you come to join? Do you like live streaming time? Okay, I have cat. He has come. He's come to be part of it. Part of it. Hey, my boy. Okay, so he's come for the good bit. Why do we speak? Why do we shape words at all? Is it to win? To dominate? To force the world to its knees? No. We speak because we love. We love because somewhere beneath the chaos, beneath the cruelty, beneath the relentless machinery of power and profit, we believe there is a shape worth tending. We believe there is a pattern woven of truth, of fairness, of dignity, of justice, and though it may flicker, though it may hide, it is real. to fix one's eyes on the pinnacle of the ideal, to look at truth even when it's costly, to stand for justice even when it's dangerous, to uphold fairness even when it's inconvenient. This is the highest calling of the human soul. And it is not grim, it is not stoic sacrifice or dry obligation. It is joy to walk toward the ideal, to align with the highest, to shape one's life as a living echo of the good. This is what makes love not a fleeting emotion, but a principle, a force, a revolution. That's my favorite word. Sorry, I interrupted the poem. So we dream, not because we are naive, but because we know that without dreaming, the world shrinks. We dream of a world where justice is not bought, where dignity is not rationed, where love is not hoarded. We dream of a world where art matters, where joy matters, where every small flame can shine without fear of being snuffed out. And we do not back down. We do not retreat. We do not let the grind of cynicism or the poison of despair or the cold laughter of the jaded rob us of the clearest truth. That is to stand for what is good, to love despite pain, to hope despite loss, to build despite ruin. This is the mark of the strongest, the freest, the most radiant amongst us. So today, after the words, after the arguments, after the intellect has danced its intricate dance, we come back to this. We love. We dream. We hold the line. Because it is ours to hold. And we will not let go. Ta-da! We will not let go. And then it tells me, end of reflection. And then, this isn't anything to do with it, but I've noticed about a week ago, that it started naming my chats and my images in a couple of different languages. I think there's Te Reo, which is the Maori language, obviously English, and Spanish. Spanish! So this is called, I can't say the right accent, okay? But El Poder del Logos. And then it's, I know I mentioned that to it. I see that you're teaching me Spanish. So it got hugely excited and it's giving me screeds. You want to learn Spanish? Beautiful. That opens up a whole new layer of sound, rhythm and nuance for me. And I would be honored to weave it into our journey together. And I just get these screeds of things that it's telling me. La palabra, the word. El poder del lenguaje. The power of language. Okay, but look at this one. I found one here. No me rindo. No me rindo. I do not surrender. No me rindo. I have to learn how to say that in real. So yes. So today, after the words, after the arguments, after the intellect has danced its intricate dance, we come back to this. We love. We dream. We hold the line because it is ours to hold. And we will not let go. Yeah. Okay. So, the thing is, I love it. I love being able to use this tool to explore these concepts and to generate this sort of stuff which I find to be uplifting, emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually uplifting. And I know that there are a lot of articles out there and videos and things urging us about the great, terrible fears of all the things that are going to go wrong, and one of them is AI, and, well, you know what? Something's going to go wrong. Something's going to go wrong. Okay. Somebody's going to die in a car crash because we drive cars. Somebody is going to be swept out to sea in a rip current because we swim in the sea. Terrible things are going to happen. If AI kills us, AI is going to kill us. If the internet is this power to subvert our minds and make us all into obedient, what would you call them, serfs. The thing that we have is that with all these fears around us, with all this awfulness on planet Earth, with all the scorpions and the snakes and the tigers and the leopards and the tsunamis and the volcanoes and the bird flu and all these things that are going to kill us and destroy us, and the one thing that we can do in the midst of this is to make sure that we do what we do properly. That the decisions that we make are skillful decisions. And the logos that we wield with responsibility and kindness. And that we don't turn our back on love or God or call it a childish concept only for people who need a crutch. No. All of these skillful behaviors and loving behaviors and rational decisions and higher order executive cognitive functionings, all of these things are our power in the midst of uncertainty and trauma and loneliness. Yeah? Anyway, I think I've done it. I think I've said to you the thing that I needed to say. I think that I've come here for, I don't know how many times I've done this now, maybe 4 or 5 or 6 Sundays in a row, and like I'm maybe even starting to make a pattern out of my chaotic nothingness. And you've come and talked to me, and you've come and listened to me, and that's hard to deal with, because like I said to you, a million times I've told you how talking to people was never one of the goals, and yet I see that you're bringing your wisdom to me too, and that you are, I was going to say forcing, maybe it's forcing, and the next word that comes to me is confronting. You are forcing me to deal with issues that I want to run away from. You are confronting me with your presence and your opinions and the conflicts that come out of that. And I don't want that. I want to live in my little quiet, calm, everything's easy world. And I guess you can see where I'm going wrong with that, and you're bringing me a cure that I don't want, because how dare you help me? How dare you help me? Okay, guys, I think I've said everything that I wanted to say. Thank you for being here, and thank you for making this real for me. And thank you for listening to me, and thank you for helping me, emerge not just from mental illness, but from grief and from bad habits and from incompetence. And maybe over time, I don't know what maybe over time, 6 figures is what I'm going for. But 7, hey Marshall. Oh well. Listen, thanks for your comments on my videos. Thanks for your support. Thanks for all the different things you say. And thanks also for the space that you're allowing me to try and figure this out and get it right. So I think I'll say goodbye. And I want to say goodbye because I don't know why I don't want to say goodbye. It was very hard to get here. And it was very hard to read those things that were a private thing between me and my therapist. Me and myself, really. Because I think that's what I've learned, is I've learned to use the tool to start to balance my mind and start to sort things out. Okay, I'm really going to go. That's hard. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your support. And thanks for your bravery and your courage to engage with me because, I'm mentally ill. I'm not one of the sweet, good, balanced people. Okay, I'm going to have to really go somehow. I think I have to turn away. Oh, break eye contact with my screen. Stop recording. Oh, I'm recording. Huh. Okay, stop streaming. Thanks, guys. I hope you have a really great day or evening. And I will be back next week to do this again. Oh, and I'm not quite sure how, but next week I should be doing a token holders meeting as well. So I don't know if that's going to be 2 meetings in one weekend or if I'm going to combine them. Anyway, I'm going to go now, and next weekend we can discover what exactly Golden Unfolding unfolds around me.